dates back to Duke Schroeder. Duke Schroeder coached Butter in high school. The extent of all that, I don't know, but that's how they were pretty close. And there were some excellent football players at that time that Butter played with. Butter was not a big man, but he was pretty capable. He liked to fight. I mean, he didn't look for a fight, but a fight never got away if he had a chance of getting a hold of it. And I think he held his own pretty good because he was left-handed. And I can remember when I was about 6 or 7 years old, the Elks had a boxing class for members' sons, so they got me into this boxing class. And most of the kids in the class were older than I was. There's very few 6 or 7 year olds in the thing, 2 of us, I think. Anyway, the instructor's name was Sullivan. I don't know what his first name was, but he was a friend of Butter's. And at that time, well, all his life, Butter was a great handball player. And then the Elks would put on these mixers. And I can remember they put on this mixer at the Elks, and I was on the card to fight Gene Daly. I don't know whether you were acquainted with Gene Daly. Was county commissioner here for a while, and Gene Daly was a left-hander. And I can always remember Butter telling me, now, watch this guy. He says, he's a lefty. He says, you're going to learn something. And I never figured it out, but I did learn something. And I finally, later on, figured out that that's why Butter was successful whenever he got into a battle, was he was a lefty, and these guys weren't acquainted with too many left-handed fighters. But he enjoyed it, and he won his share. He had black eyes that he told me he didn't get. He had a fight for. Nobody gave them to him. I can remember I was only involved in one real action that he was in. I wasn't involved. I was a spectator, but I was probably, this is about just before I went back to Annapolis, I think. And then he was playing in the Aero Club in the Sump then. And there was a carnival in town. And anyway, this guy came in, and I was there at the time, and I don't know who the guy was, but he asked Butter, he says, have you seen something like, and apparently this carnival had a tough guy with it. He was uptown terrorizing everything. But he didn't come in where Butter was playing. So Butter, well, where's the guy? And they talked and talked. And it was about time to shut the place down. So the guy was up in the, where the club, what is the Club 13 is now, well, that was Red Riley's joint. Red Riley and his brother Blackie Riley, they ran that. This wasn't during Prohibition. Everything was legal then. But the guy was up in Red Riley's joint terrorizing everybody. So Pelletier was with Butter a lot when the rest of these guys weren't. He'd be there singing and raising hell and having fun. Anyway, they closed the music down at the Aero Club and took off for Red Riley's, and I followed right along with them. Well, they get in there, and this guy, I don't know what he was. He was a big guy. So Butter took right after him, and the guy knocked Butter down. He's down beating on Butter, and Pelletier took a kick at the guy and kicked Butter in the head. And anyway, they got up. They went round and round. It was quite a battle for a while, and Butter finally got some good licks in on the guy, hammered him pretty good. Well, I think it's still there, but there was a back door to the place out into the alley between the First National Bank there. Well, Butter run the guy out the back door, and this is when the real trouble started. When the guy went out the door, there was a car coming down the alley and it hit the guy. Well, it didn't kill him or hurt him real bad, but it put him out of commission. And to this day, I wonder if that guy figured that Butter hit him or he didn't know whether the car hit him or not.